Happy Juneteenth, everyone. My name is Randy Thompson. I'm the pastor at Lakewood Fellowship, and I'm really excited to join you today. I have two objectives during this video. First of all, I want to celebrate the meaning of Juneteenth today with you, and I also wanted to bring you up to date on where we stand as a church as it pertains to race and racial injustice in our city and in our country, and the work we're doing towards that end. I wanted to start off by reading a part of the executive order that was read in Galveston over 150 years ago on June 19th. Announcing to people who had been enslaved about their freedom. This is from General Granger, a general in the Union Army. He says, "The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor." I can't imagine the celebration that took place when that executive order was read aloud in the balmy coast of Galveston, Texas, so long ago. It reminds me of this passage in Luke chapter 4. These are the first words that Jesus says in his ministry. He'd just been tempted in the desert, and he goes to Nazareth, his hometown. He stands up in the synagogue on Sunday morning, and he unrolls the scroll in Isaiah, and he finds the place where it was written these words. "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." What a powerful first passage for Jesus to speak. And what a powerful message that still speaks today. The idea that there are people who are in captivity who can find a freedom. And of course, Christ was speaking to spiritual enslavement and not just physical enslavement. And we as Christians have a responsibility, a ministry of reconciliation to bring that exact same message to the world around us. So just as we celebrate the great news that those who had been enslaved are now set free, we as Christians have a similar good news that reaches into eternity. And we definitely need to be about this message of equality and setting free those who have been oppressed. And of course, that exists spiritually, those who are oppressed with sin, and those who are oppressed perhaps in other ways. Now, clearly, the work that has been done in the Emancipation Proclamation over 150 years ago is still trying to find its effects today. And we could go back in history and find inflection points where we would say, man, we made a lot of progress right there. But there's still a tremendous amount of work to be done because we still see inequality all around us. And we at Lakewood Fellowship take really, really seriously the desire to meet injustice with the good news of Jesus Christ, who desires justice to be done. Jesus is our King, we are his loyal subjects, and because our King desires to see justice done, we too ought to seek to meet injustice right where it's at, whether it's in our hearts, in our communities, in our city, or in our country. Here's what Lakewood Fellowship is doing to address these things. If you read Jemar Tisby's book, The Color of Compromise, he offers 3 different categories for next steps for anyone who's seeking to meet injustice right where it's at. And he uses the acronym ARC. This A stands for an awareness, an acknowledgement of the racism that exists around you and perhaps in your own life. R stands for relationships, building cross-cultural relationships with others who are not like you. And C stands for a commitment to act. At Lakewood Fellowship, we're trying to take steps in each of these categories. As it pertains to the A category, bringing awareness of racism, we've built a brand new page on our website called Biblical Justice that seeks to bring awareness about justice to anyone who might be interested. And so if you go to that Biblical Justice page, you'll see some partnerships that we've developed to meet injustice in our neighborhoods where we live, but also a link to a page about racial injustice where there are resources to help you seek out any places in your own heart where racism might exist, as well as to begin to educate yourself about racism here in the city of Dallas, as well as the country around us. That would be the A category of the Color of Compromise that Jemar Tisby offers. As far as the R goes, the relationship, hopefully you are seeking to build cross-cultural relationships wherever you're at. At Lakewood Fellowship, we've been developing over the past year a relationship with our great friends at Victory Baptist Church, hopefully soon to be better friends, because on July 4th, Sunday, we will be celebrating Victory Baptist Church's anniversary with them. It's going to be their 9th anniversary, and if you haven't heard yet, we'd love for you to join us. We are going to have an anniversary lunch with our friends at Victory Baptist on that Sunday, at noon on that Sunday, and then they will have their anniversary service at 1 o'clock on that Sunday, where they've invited me to preach. I'm very, very excited for this opportunity. I've had a great year getting to know Pastor Mark Morrell there, and I'm looking forward to the time that we could spend with them. This is just one area where we're seeking to build cross-cultural relationships to help us gain a better perspective of who Christ is. And when we do a great job of building awareness, when we do a great job of building relationships, that opens the doors for action, where we can commit to act, to seek to address injustice wherever we see it, whether that be racial injustice or justice in other ways, where people who are marginalized can find the love of Christ, and we can seek to set those captives free, not just spiritually, but that we can meet the hungry and give them something to eat, that we can meet the thirsty and give them something to drink, that we can meet those who need help and reach out the hand of Christ to those who are in greatest need. Hopefully you've been encouraged by this time here. Hopefully you're encouraged by this day, Juneteenth. Hopefully that you're encouraged by the steps that we're taking at Lakewood Fellowship to continue to root out injustice, not just in our own hearts, not just in our own church, but that we would meet injustice right where it's at in our communities, in our city, and even in our nation. Please join us prayerfully. Seek Christ in your own life and seek the guidance of the Holy Spirit as you seek to take action where he might call you to take action. Happy Juneteenth, everyone. We look forward to seeing you soon at Lakewood Fellowship.